Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so pleased to be on location here at the new building with Carter Vintage Guitars, and I've got the CEO of the company, Ben Montague. Ben, what an incredible facility.
Thank you very much for having me.
It is incredible talking with you and getting to walk around here, at 606 8th Avenue. So you're across the street from the old building.
We're literally across the street from the old building. I mean, you walk it. That was when we were moving, we announced that we were moving. A lot of people say, where are you going? And so I would take them to the front door and just say, we're going up there. So,
well, once again, coming in here, I was at the original opening of Carter Vintage back in 2012, and you've kept so many of the signage, of the rugs, of the people, everything, to where it just feels like a more expanded version. And you were telling me too that it's combining 3 great guitar companies, where you've got Cotton Music, you've got North American Guitar, and Carter Vintage all under one roof.
Yeah, that was the goal, really. The biggest challenge was, how do you take such an incredible brand built by 2 incredible people, Christian Walter Carter, and move that across the street to a new location, or any location. And so, of course, it was easier. It was a slightly easy lift. There's a lot of instruments to moving it across the street. But at the same time, we really wanted to take the essence of that amazing building and just try to recreate it. So even when you walk through, the fact that the tryout rooms are still on the left-hand side and they're still the same elements. So we worked hard at that.
But it's such a good feel also, and yourself being a musician, obviously you want people to be comfortable here, but the difference to me, when I come in and see how the guitars are arranged and the spaces are arranged, you've got 12,500 square feet here.
Yes, we do, sir, yeah.
Wow.
I think about that every minute of the day, so yeah. I think when you have so many beautiful instruments from any price point, from any price range, we want them to have the room to breathe. So customers can come in and they can take them off of the wall and they can take them to a tryout room and feel free to play them as loud as they want. And so that was a big part of the build out of this space, was to try to sort of keep the essence of what was in the old building, but also just maybe give the instruments a little bit more room so that we could put more in, but at the same time not be too cramped.
Well, and also the attention to detail, Ben, I think it's what really impresses me coming here and getting the tour, which I know so many people, obviously that live in Nashville and that visit Nashville are going to be coming through to see this, but you used the same artist for the murals on the outside of the building.
Yeah, we did, and we're very grateful. Christy connected me with Brian Law and Jenna Colt. They created those phenomenal murals, and I approached them and said, we want to recreate these, and they were over the moon. In fact, Brian is still somewhere in the building at the moment, putting some finishing touches on. And we teamed up with Gibson, as Walter and Chrissy had done for their murals. So it's really just trying to keep, even down to that, the essence of what was so brilliant about that store, and bringing it across the street.
But I think also, Ben, you've got to take credit for some of the bigger ideas also, such as the stage. And like an event space that you're working on. You're going to be doing some charity and other events. Yeah. Plus, the acoustic room down at the end, where you have the windows and you can play the instruments and have a great view.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the acoustic room. So that was a kind of a bit of a dream of mine, was that you were able to take your, pre-war off the wall and sit down, not yours.
But it could be.
And sit down and be able to play it looking downtown Nashville. I thought that was just what an iconic thing to be able to provide for customers. And Kim Sherman, who is managing partner of the business and was one of the owners of Cotton Music, she is still, my best friend and like a sister to me, and we work every day. And when we first walked around the space, I said, my goal is for you to have this corner office here so that you can look downtown Nashville, and there's essence of Cotton in that area and in that. So that was really part of the goal, trying to bring in elements of the North American guitar, elements of Cotton Music, but also because Carter Vintage is such a well-known big brand that we wanted to make that the leading brand.
I think one of my favorite photos, though, before you even, moved in guitars, put up, the string swings, everything that it takes to do this.
As a man that knows his product.
I bought a few myself, to where, the picture of you and your son walking around in this space, trying to get that vision of how you're going to do this.
Yeah, I feel very grateful to be, in this incredible city and to be the sort of custodian of this amazing brand. And Kim actually took that picture, and it was one of the first times we were in the space. My wife was off in a different corner, and I was with my son in the far corner, walking through, and she just managed to snap it.
And I just got to meet your wife earlier too.
Yeah,
so it's like the whole family is here.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Are you going to have your son like polishing guitars also?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, and I had to bring this up too. As you've done this with your new space with Carter Vintage Guitar, you've got the repair area opened again. So you guys are working on guitars and amps again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at the moment we're just putting the finishing touches to all of the benches in the back, and we've got an incredible team there. Greg Ellis is leading the charge. We've got Gary Band's back.
Yeah. He's worked on a few of my amplifiers, yes.
Yeah. So, we're very excited about that. That'll be coming very soon.
Well, and some of our viewers may not know this, Ben, but also you have a strong musical background as well. From when you started coming here to Nashville early on, back in 2007 and everything, and you had, your album, you had some hit songs.
No, definitely not.
And so, a guitarist, singer, songwriter yourself, so you're invested, in what you're doing here with Carter Vintage from that standpoint as a musician.
I just fell in love with this city from the moment I came here. And I was lucky enough to work with incredible songwriters, Dennis McCoskey or Gary Burr. It was just, imagine me turning up here and just I was in America. I'd never, really been to America before. Mm-hmm. So I was writing with these amazing musicians and songwriters. And that was the bug that bit me of Nashville. So.
And now when you go back to London, to visit sometimes, you're going to have a Southern accent with your...
Absolutely. I'm working on it.
Oh, it's going to come. I'm warning you. Well, and I got to ask you this too, Ben. I mean, when people come here, as tourists or locals and everything, to buy guitars, strings, whatever, amplifiers, you name it, what experience do you hope that they're going to come away with when they come to visit the new Carter space?
That's a great question. I think that Christy and Walter always led with Nashville's friendliest guitar store. And, we have some incredibly valuable instruments in here. But at the same time, we do want that father and son to come in and pick up that first guitar. Or we had someone the other day that wanted to pick up a very expensive instrument, and we were like, yeah, sure. And the son went in there with the dad, and Justin was there, and it's about creating that experience so that it feels still very much like the original Carter Vintage guitars, just a fraction bigger, with a little bit more organization and
a lot bigger, and with more organization. Yeah, but I mean that's the great thing. It's like when I walked in, to me, the open space, I can see instruments and everything that I want to play and try out, and you see everyone sitting around playing instruments and trying them out. And that's what you want.
Absolutely. I was pretty nervous when we opened, it's not even been a week yet, we opened last Friday. And I just want to say how incredible the team were, all of the employees. It was a really heavy lift, and making sure every instrument was meticulously taken across the street and put up. We're talking like nearly 2,000 guitars, and everybody worked so hard. So everybody needs the credit there. But yeah, I just would love people to come here and experience exactly what it was over across the street.
Well, and to be a part of the family too, because once again, when I walked in and I see familiar faces that I've known for years at the old Carter Vintage guitar, and they're over here.
Yeah, sorry, I went off course there, but yeah, that was the thing, is when we opened on Friday, last Friday, I was like, are people going to come? And the doors open, and it was overwhelming. It was actually very humbling to see that many people through the doors. So yeah.
Well, and I want to make sure also, Ben, with people, looking to follow Carter Vintage guitars, certainly to see the new instruments, but also to see some of the people. I love it too that you've got a picture on the wall showing so many of the incredible artists, stars of country, rock, bluegrass, you name it, on the walls.
Yeah, that's our little walk of fame. We've got
Is
pictures.
that amazing?
And well, they got
And the old sign up on the wall to the
the
right.
old sign up on the wall as well. It's really even some of the paintings that were across the street, and we got great photos of Christian Walter, and just wanted people to feel that this was home from home.
You know what, I had a thought too, that maybe, for one of the first acts, opening up on the stage here at Carter Vintage should be you.
No, definitely not. Nobody wants to hear me sing. I can promise you that.
Maybe you do a reprint on some of your CDs and albums. Maybe we have it with a digital thing. Just throwing it out there, okay? I'd be happy to back you up even.
Well, how about you do the singing?
No, well, I'll back you up and we bring back, But I want to make sure for the viewers too, Ben, for the website, for the social media and everything, where do they need to go for all things Carter Vintage Guitars?
It's just as simple as that, cartervintage.com, and Carter Vintage Guitars is, I think Carter Vintage is our Instagram handle, but cartervintage.com. It's all on there.
And there's going to be some other big announcements too coming in the next few months into summer possibly, I understand.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a few other different things we're cooking up.
Well, I'll tell you what, definitely, it's such an icon here in Nashville with the music community. Carter Vintage Guitar at their new location. Come check it out. See Ben and everybody else here. You're going to enjoy it as much as I have. I'm going to have to actually leave and go back to work, so I'm not going to be able to play more guitars today. But I will be coming back, Ben.
Oh, pleasure.
And what a great job. Just a beautiful space, but it still feels like home.
Thank you so much. I really
and a
appreciate
credit
that.
to you and the team.
Thank
Ben
you so
Montague,
much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.